Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS Show with Jon Impemba and James Grande.
What is going on, FA Nation? Jon Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS Playbook Preview Show. We are here for Monday's 4-game main slate. James, we had kind of a larger Sunday slate, and now that football is over, we know that NBA certainly tries to represent itself on Sundays of these larger days. So I'm curious if maybe these lighter Mondays are a sign of things to come for us here.
Yeah, maybe. Also, like with the All-Star break kind of being wonky, like there was a ton of games Thursday, a ton of games Friday, a ton of games Saturday, and then not a lot of games
Yeah, 3
Saturday,
games Saturday.
and then a ton of games Sunday. So I think like we'll get back into like the flow of the schedule, but it might take like a week or so. But it looks like a fun 4-game slate considering we have you know 4 top 10 teams in pace: Toronto, Indiana, Detroit, Sacramento. We have a bunch of injury news and suspension news that we're dealing with in Miami. So like they're shorthanded. Good luck. Miami's down 4 rotation pieces, injury potentially more with injury / suspension. So like there's a lot going on there. Memphis is obviously like coming off like a really competitive game again. They've been kind of a surprise against a bad Brooklyn team. So Knicks get a great matchup. It's a fun little 4-game slate overall.
Yeah, 100%. Toronto, Indiana, that's a slate high 246 total in that one. The Pacers are on the second leg of a back-to-back here. They're giving 6.5. Detroit, New York giving 11.5, a 224 total there. Of course, those two teams were involved in a deadline deal, so a little something to watch potentially in that matchup for those players involved in that deal. Brooklyn, Memphis, Memphis at home getting 214.5. No Ben Simmons in this game for Brooklyn, and Miami, Sacramento, our late night hammer. Kings giving 7.5 there on the second leg of a back-to-back, 225 total. Again, quicker show today with this just being 4 games. Your top price overall player is just $10,200. That is Domantas Sabonis. If you go look and start at the point guard position, we only got 2 guards over 9K. So we'll just break it down the top 5 point guards here. Brunson, Halliburton, Barnes, Fox, and Cunningham, 8K and above. Again, I kind of just go to those top 2. Brunson's price certainly on its way up. Halliburton's price on its way up. But the way they're playing right now, still easily returning value, if not maybe even considered too cheap at this point.
Yeah, I think they're truthfully too cheap. We're talking about Halliburton coming off 50 in back-to-back games, has another elite matchup against Toronto. We just saw it 2 games. The minutes are there, 34 minutes in 3 straight games, pre and post All-Star break. So nothing wrong getting the Tyrese Halliburton 95. The scoring, obviously being back up, has helped. And I've said that to you for I've said that to you like since the beginning of the year. Like as soon as his price was elevated, we needed the 20-point scoring Tyrese Halliburton because he is very like up and down with the rebounds, very up and down with the steals. So good to see the scoring back up. Obviously, Jalen Brunson is as good as it gets. The Knicks are just, they're getting healthier, obviously, but like no Julius Randle, no Giannonobi is a big loss for them. So definitely like getting to Brunson. I'm very intrigued by like recent Scotty Barnes, and I said that to you last stream we did, but he's been really, really consistent again. This is like early in the year, Scotty Barnes. He's scoring really well. The peripherals have been amazing. We're talking about 15 plus rebounds and assists in 6 straight games. That's like how you run into ceiling games, because if he keeps giving you that and then gives you the 29 points that he did against Indiana, and I'm not saying that this is exactly what's going to happen, but like that's when ceiling games happen. When you get those 15 plus rebounds and assists, we know the steals and blocks are typically there every game. Love Scotty Barnes, 89. Fox, second leg of a back-to-back against a banged up Miami team, definitely can get to. And Cade, surprising to see Cade as good as he was the other night. Like that's the Jalen Suggs matchup. Jalen Suggs is no freaking joke defensively. Cade did not have a problem. I would say are you at all concerned with the minutes on Monty is clearly playing. He's playing so many guys. And
Yeah.
he got Quentin Grimes back, and like I wish, like, look at the potential of these games. 50 fantasy points and 43 fantasy points and 31 and 30 minutes. Like,
Mhm.
what could that have looked like if Cade was playing his like 35, 36 that he was
Yeah,
playing?
he had that run obviously going into the break where he played 39, 35, then he played 25 and 26 in those blowout games. Comes out of the break 30, 31. I still think there could be a little bit of a ceiling here. The AK price tag makes it easier to bear with him going for 30 minutes a night because of the way
Sure.
he has been playing. We know what the Knicks are okay, but they're nothing great. I mean, we just
Yep.
saw Jaylen Brown light them up the other night. Derek White hit some threes on them. So you could see K take that game over. He's been really good shooting three of late, eight of 16 the last two games there. So top tier, again, really don't have any complaints. I guess maybe Fox would be the bottom of that group for me just because of the pace and the matchup. But like, I don't know. The price for him is still ridiculous. So
Yeah.
we'll see how he comes out of this one on Sunday. Moving our way down, you hit this one big time the other day. You did your short video on him, told everybody that he was quickly becoming your favorite Toronto Raptor. He goes out there, scores 24 actual, 24, 7, and 5, back-to-back games now with 24 points. He has this pace-out spot against the Pacers. Made it quickly $7,200, a guy that I think you and I are both pretty interested in locking in here.
Yeah, what's frustrating, the only thing frustrating about that, and I'm not really going to complain too much, was that he had 18 actual at half. Like, it was like 18, 5, and 3 at half. And I was like, wow, we're getting 60.
Yeah.
And for me, it didn't matter because, like, I had Trae Young in that game, and he had obviously the
4.
game he had. And then it came out that he got hurt, and now
Yeah.
he's out for like an extended period of
4
time.
weeks.
So,
Yeah.
like, obviously, it didn't matter, but it did matter for all those that used quickly. Could have been a ceiling game, but back-to-back 40s obviously has been really good. The scoring, the shot attempts, the minutes, everything for quickly has really been trending up in the right direction. And then, cherry on top here, the matchup is fantastic as well.
Mm-hmm. Where do we go next, though? Obviously, a short slate, so the depth kind of drops off quickly here. Do you like Cam Thomas? Would you throw a dart at any of these Miami plays? I mean, where's your next guard?
Cam Thomas is consistently, I feel the same about him and like the rest of Brooklyn. You can play them. If
No Ben Simmons changes at all for you?
like, is he even? I mean, he's questionable, I guess. All like when Ben Simmons is on an injury report, it's usually not a good thing for Ben
Right.
Simmons' status. I don't know. Like, look at I mean, dude, things have not gotten better with Kevin Ollie. They were winning that game outright against Minnesota, like into the fourth quarter, and then just got torched. I mean, they're just not competitive.
Yeah.
I don't know what maybe Memphis. Memphis is supposed to be bad, and Memphis themselves
You're
have been
getting
super
one at
competitive.
home as Memphis, so
Dude, they've been, I think, better and more competitive than anyone would have figured. And I think that is a lot to do with the coach. I think Taylor Jenkins is a great basketball coach who is keeping them competitive. And obviously they've really hit on some draft picks. I think they might have had, safe to say that Memphis had the most underrated draft this year. Gigi Jackson
yeah.
and Vince Williams. That's probably both in the second round. That's like the most underrated, underappreciated draft of the entire league, right?
Mhm.
So, indifferent about Cam Thomas. And just that's kind of how I feel about Brooklyn in general. Maybe there's some value with Simmons out, but like that value is probably Dennis Schroeder, who we'll get to. But like, look at what Dennis Schroeder's done the last two games, and you'll probably talk yourself off that really quick.
Right, for sure. But the value is there at least. Kennard, 25 minutes, 26 minutes against the Clippers. Inconsistent shooting out of him there. I think you were right. They didn't even play Goodwin the other day, right? So
they did give him a two-way. So for those that don't know or just tuning into DFS for the first time, that means he can go back and forth between the G League and the NBA team when they need him. So we'll have to monitor the injury report for Goodwin and players on two-way contracts to begin with, because don't know if he's going to even be with the team. So.
Agreed. Any other point guards?
Any other point guards? I mean, TJ McConnell, dude, if you think that this is a game that TJ McConnell can maybe get extended in, he's been insane 2 of the last 4 games. He's gone over 30 fantasy points, including Sunday's game. So if you want to get to him, by all means, Schroeder at 45, I think is slightly interesting because of the minutes. And we know Schroeder is like, interesting. I will say, John, for the on the Goodwin front, now that I think about it, they released Jacob Gilyard.
Okay.
So like Derrick Rose going to play 14 to 16 minutes, right? Like he's not going to play a lot. They can probably play Kennard on the ball a little bit, but if Goodwin's active, I think there's a good chance we may see him starting moving forward.
And he was good for them in those couple games.
He was good, and he helped them win.
Yeah, agreed.
Come on, dude. Really?
What?
He was good and he helped them win?
I get it. I heard it.
Let that one go. It's
sometimes you got to let them float, Let's go to shooting guard here.
I'm so disappointed.
A lot of the guys we talked about already, but we have Mikal Bridges, DiVincenzo, Barrett, and Vince Williams as our top 4 here.
Yeah. So like Bridges again, I'm indifferent about Brooklyn as a whole, so my opinion hasn't changed really there. DiVincenzo, the minutes being 32 against Boston makes you believe that maybe he loses out on a little bit of run because of a blowout, right? 35 in the game prior. They are getting healthier, so that's obviously something to consider too. 7,100. It's a great matchup. I'd rather play Barrett for $7,000. Mm-hmm. I think you probably agree with that as well. RJ Barrett sitting with the knee. It was a second half of back-to-back. We've actually seen Barrett sit in back-to-backs lately, so that shouldn't be all that surprising. Good to get to Barrett and Vince Williams. What is your opinion on Vince Williams at 6,900? I mean, that's like not a great price.
Yeah, I mean the shooting obviously is inconsistent, and when they have Jaren Jackson, those guys back, like the shots just really aren't there for him as they were when he was only him on the team.
Yeah,
he's still hitting the shots, right? Like he's still hitting above average of his shot attempts. That
no longer threes. He's no longer taking threes that he was early in the year. He's just going to the basket.
Right. So the assists are great. The rebounds are great. So, like, if he does score, you get 40. If he doesn't score, you're like 25 to 30. So, on a small slate, you probably can get away with it. But there's also like Ivy, Monk down here.
Right.
Matherin. Duncan Robinson's going to be a team by himself potentially here in Sacramento. I mean, we've seen what that looked like earlier this year. I mean, he took a bunch of shots. So
Point Duncan.
Yeah, like I'm happy just to kind of jump down to this like this lower tier instead.
Would you? I would probably, and just to talk about the Miami, we could just quickly touch on Miami. Would you prioritize one or the other if one or the other were in? Like if Hero was in, Rozier was out, would you prioritize Hero on this slate, or like vice versa? Like if Hero's out and Rozier's in, would you prioritize Rozier? Because there's already no Butler. We know there's no Jim. We know there's no Jimmy.
Probably, I guess, but I still like Duncan Robinson, I think.
I'm not saying you can't like Duncan Robinson as well. I think there's multiple layers to the Heat that like.
Sure. I mean, if one of those guys are out, since we already know that there's no Butler, then sure. The other one plays. That's fine. If they're all in, I don't think I play Rozier if Hero is active.
Agreed. Also, if both are out, maybe we see they didn't use DeLon Wright the other day.
Sure.
Maybe we see DeLon Wright make an appearance.
Is he 3K?
He's 3K, yeah. But yeah, I agree on your Duncan front. Matherin started again. He was once again really good. He's been pretty good outside that Charlotte game.
What did he do today? Matherin.
He had a double-double, I think.
14, 11, 5, and 3 in 33 minutes. As long as he's getting the minutes, I'm behind him. Miles Turner had a hell of a day. 33 actual for Miles Turner.
It's just we'll see if the Neesmith. I know Neesmith has been ramping up prior to Sunday's game, so we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Nembhard had another solid game for Indiana. He's 5,100. Trent was really solid again the other day, 4,800. He's a viable value play. Your boy Evan Fournier continues to be
Dude,
fine.
he's playing minutes, man. It's hilarious, but he is in fact playing minutes. So,
And I think this is the last game of the Isaiah Stewart. Quentin Grimes made his debut.
yeah.
He wasn't great. He was great peripherally, though. 26 minutes in his debut. He was clearly like the primary piece they got back in that trade.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think this is a pretty good play. No Stewart. He's going to benefit. I know Asor Thompson was in some foul trouble in that game.
Yeah.
But
what else is new?
Yeah, but what else is new? 26 minutes off the bench. Monty Williams is trying to figure out this rotation. I'd be good to get into some Quentin Grimes on the slate for sure.
All right. Small forward here. We talked Scotty Barnes already. Siakam, 81. Mikal Bridges, we've discussed. I guess it's like Siakam, Josh Hart, Bojan. For guys we haven't, Jaime Jaquez will probably be super popular here if Rozier, Hero are out along with Butler. So, go back to the Miami guys, I guess, in this spot.
Yeah, back to the Miami guys for sure. I'm okay with Siakam. I'm a little indifferent at 8,100. He just hasn't been great for an 8K price. There's nothing really, just like you said, it's just going back to the Miami guys. Josh Hart, 65. He's just still playing so many minutes if you want to go to Josh Hart. So I'd be okay with going to Hart. I don't think I could pay 59 for Bojan, given his role still just hasn't really expanded.
Sure.
Either.
To give Fontecchio a look, 31 minutes, 33 minutes, last two games.
Yeah, he was really good against Orlando. Just no peripheral stats against Indiana, which we've seen in the past. But if he's going to continue to space the floor well, no Isaiah Stewart.
They started Zaire again, got 30 minutes in that game.
Hey man, if there's no Contra in this game, so should probably stay the same. Like that rotation probably doesn't change.
Mm-hmm. Bruce Brown getting minutes, but unexciting. But over 20 and 3 the last 4, so maybe a peak.
Yeah, well, we also have to factor in no RJ Barrett in that Atlanta game.
Truth.
Like Nwora, remember if you remember,
I have to say they started Nwora, didn't they? Yeah,
he did nothing. But he did start.
Did start him. All right, let's go to power forward.
I would
okay
maybe dart throw Jake LaRavia. He took 8 shots in 17 minutes. He made his return.
First round pick last year, right?
Yeah, I don't hate 2 years ago. 2 years ago. I don't hate a guy who's playing 17 minutes and taking 8 shots at near min salary in a good matchup. So as a dart throw, it's a 4-game slate. We gotta be creative.
Sure. Power forward here again. A lot of guys we've discussed. You do get Triple J and Achua, 79 and 7K. They started Achua next to Hartenstein. He played 34 minutes, nearly doubled against Boston. So the drill with him. As long as OG and Randall are out, it seems like Achua is going to be locked into some big playing time. A bunch of Knicks that's in a row here. The Miami guys, again, if people are out, you have Caleb Martin, Jaime Jaquez, Santi Aldama. What are your thoughts here on power forward?
My thoughts are Triple J is going to be popular.
Yeah.
That's my initial thought.
Under 8K.
Yeah, under 8K, and the position kind of stinks, right? Like just looking at
25 shot attempts.
Yeah, I mean, dude, he is not afraid to shoot the basketball. I wish he rebounded, obviously, because if he's in games where he doesn't get you 29 actual, it's very risky. The outcomes are so spread out, 40, 20, 30.
Yeah, and since he's not averaging 4 blocks a game at home this year.
It's still a really good spot. 7,900 is a very good price tag. It's just going to depend on how much Jaren Jackson chalk do you want to eat, right? Because that's on a we know what Jaren Jackson chalk could do, and it could really let you down.
Agreed. I do like a chew on the spot against Detroit, just knowing what Detroit's going to
Agreed.
go for a lineup here.
Agreed.
Again, the Knicks and Miami guys we've kind of talked about already. You got Keegan at 51. No, Horder's having some good success. He's small forward though. Cam J off the bench. Your guy GG's here at $4,900. You know what his upside can be in tournaments. Anybody? Jalen Smith, $4,200 maybe. Anybody else for you?
Would they? What do you think? Do you think Brooklyn, if Simmons sits, do you think it's as simple as just starting Schroeder, or do you think Cam Johnson re-enters? Because they have Cam Thomas that they could just play on the ball, right? I guess it depends on what they. That's. I mean, we don't need. It's a. Oh no, it's an 8 o'clock game. Unlucky. What do you think Brooklyn would do? Because they're starting Finney Smith obviously over Johnson.
Yeah. Yeah, they can move Cam Johnson in there and move it around.
It's probably Johnson. It's probably Johnson
it's
or
definitely Johnson
Schroeder,
or
right?
Schroeder. Yes,
It's one of the two.
100%.
Finney Smith 39. He's starting. He played 30 minutes last game for what that's worth. I don't think. What did Smith play on? Let's see what Smith played on Sunday. That's gonna be something. Because like I wouldn't be if he played a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if he sat.
15 minutes.
Just monitor him. Right,
3 fouls in 15 minutes. Who knows? It also didn't help his case that Turner went nuclear.
Yeah, Turner went nuclear. If Smith were to sit, it wouldn't shock me. Just throwing it out there, just given his like injury history. And if he did, like Obi Toppin still in the rotation.
Yeah, Toppin played 19 minutes today. He played 16 minutes the other night. So. All right, let's go to center here and we'll build the lineup. You got Sabonis, you got Bam, which probably is the spot to look at with everybody potentially out.
Yes, it is.
Then a lot of guys we've talked about again. Turner's coming off of a big day. I love Jalen Duren. He came through for me again big time the other night with the live rebound prop. You have Claxton against Memphis. We know obviously there's a good spot for Claxton. Pirtle had a huge game the other day. I played Pirtle over on FanDuel and he was against Atlanta and he was like 4%. Had a really big day there. So I think you probably find yourselves going to a few of these mid-tier centers, but Bam is, because of the potential lack of other options here, is going to be probably pretty popular.
Yeah, I mean, we've just seen what their team looks like when everything's funneling through Bam, and it looks really good because Bam is really good when the offense is flowing through him and he has shooters surrounding him. So I love Bam. It's a good matchup against Sabonis. I've said that a bunch. Sabonis, as good as Sabonis is offensively, he is not that same dude defensively. So I'm okay getting to either of the top two guys. I think there's a case to be made. You just play them both and you move on, right? Because they both, Sabonis has 70 in his bag and Bam has 60 in his bag with a team to himself. So either top center, good luck guessing when Miles Turner is going to go nuclear. He has been much better, though, for what it's worth. Miles Turner coming into today, you said he scored 33 actual, 37, 37, 41 fantasy points, and then 2 games the Golden State game was a down game, and then 34, 35. So
it's the minutes for me. He 31, 31, 28, then 30 again today.
It's so frustrating.
Well, no, this is a positive development,
I guess,
in my opinion, because we were seeing him play 24, 26, 18, 27, 19, right? So if we're gonna get 30 plus for Miles Turner, I think the ceiling's there.
Touche. It is like a very annoying thing with Miles Turner though, because like even 31 feels like, dude, he had 33. Like, why are you playing him 31 minutes? Right? Like, isn't that something you want to extend? So Turner in tournaments for sure. Jalen Duren, as long as he stays in foul trouble, out of foul trouble, I mean, he's good. Even in that foul trouble game against Orlando, he was still 16, 11, 3 assists, 4 blocks. So there's a ceiling. I think Claxton's pretty interesting in tournaments without Ben Simmons, but he's been terrible lately. And you're correct on your Pirtle assessment. He does not need a lot of time. Is this just the Pirtle we're going to get, though? Like,
but we've kind of seen this be the Pirtle when he was in San Antonio, right? I mean,
this was exactly before we figured, like, all right, he's going to get traded. He's going to get traded.
Yeah, he can be a high fantasy point per minute guy in 26 to 28 minutes.
He can.
doesn't need to play 35.
Correct.
Is this matchup good for him? I'm debatable, I guess, but good rebounder, definitely soft hands, right? He can score around the rim. So, and the blocks have been nice the last couple of games here. So,
Sure.
I don't mind giving that a peek. I might lean Claxton over him, but I think both are fine.
I mean, at least Pirtle's been good. Claxton's just been bad. The minutes have obviously been on Claxton's side. The production's been on Pirtle's
It's just been
side.
centers against Memphis has been a target for us because
That's
Jaren
true.
Jackson is not a center.
Dude, it's panned out like 100% of the time.
Yeah.
It has really been a very profitable approach.
He's not obviously an offensive first center, but like there could be 14 and 16
rebounds.
in this game
The rebounds.
right? Like,
dominate on the glass. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Hartenstein's minutes are coming up, but unless we get a full removal of restrictions here, I can't really go there. Then you can just throw some darts in some of these other guys, Isaiah Jackson, Kelly Olynyk.
Olynyk for sure.
Yeah,
he's good, dude.
Yep. Again, he's gonna play 20 minutes, but we know what his upside can be. So, that's probably about it. Anybody else for you?
I'm just seeing possibly Kevin Love gets extended here.
Sure.
Just given
because there's no Jovic to start in front of him this time, right? So
no Jovic to start, no Jimmy either.
Yeah.
So like we've seen that, right? We've seen them go double big a lot. And
well, the last time we thought it was gonna be Love, it was Jovic, and he didn't miss a shot.
Did not miss a freaking single shot.
Did not miss a shot that game. So, I'm with you on that call for sure. All right, let's get a lineup.
Yeah, let us build.
Let's get a lineup build out here. I'm just gonna plug Duncan Robinson because I think he's a good play today.
Schroeder, probably. One of the Pistons value plays like Fournier or Grimes. I'd lean Grimes, but I'm also fine playing Fournier if that's the direction we'd rather go.
I mean, they're both revenge games against the Knicks. Who hates the Knicks more? Fournier probably
has to be. Well, let's probably not because they paid him a crap ton of money.
True.
What can he can't hate them for paying him money. He just hates them for not playing them.
All right, center we go. Bam here. Power forward, Triple J.
Yeah.
66 for a guard. We still got money to spend here.
I think we should definitely look at one of the top three guys. Yeah.
Go Barnes.
Yeah. And if we can't get to Barnes, we can go. Obviously, you can go to Quickly too for $1,700 cheaper if we needed the savings.
61 for util.
61 for a util.
Jaquez, maybe. Matherin.
It would be Matherin if we know Neesmith's out for sure.
Okay, well, we'll plug Matherin now. We get some money to play with if we have to do so.
Yep.
Schroeder, Robinson, Fournier, Jackson, Bam, Barnes, Fontecchio, and Matherin. $600 left over. Our guy Dylan Clemens is on the playbook for Monday, so check that out. Get us in the Discord. James and I'll be back live 5 p.m. Eastern time, everybody, to break down all the latest news and happenings for this 4-game main slate. Happy Monday, everybody. We'll talk to you later.